and it's a totally German company, and they all are German people. They took my interview, so I feel that, and afterwards they decided to get me the package almost double. So that day, actually, in the evening, my interview is there, and before that, I called you regarding that, and you told me without any hesitation you told me some tips for this, and it's quite surprising for me actually because I have selected for the second round. So that type of faith I got that day, and I have decided to took admissions for your SAP EHS training.
Hi Swati, welcome to this video. And we've
Great.
been talking about your journey into SAP EHS. And before starting, just let me ask you, how has been your new job?
Simply good.
Okay. So we'll talk more about that and what has been your journey into SAP EHS and your experience while learning SAP EHS, your many months of practice and hard work, and then how you got so many interviews, then ultimately leading up to the point where how you cleared the interview. So, Swati, before we do all of this, let's give an introduction about what has been your previous experience and basically something that viewers can learn about you or they can get to know about you. So, give a small introduction, baby.
Definitely, Manish. Uh, Myself, Swati Jagdale. First of all, thank you so much, Manish, to giving me this opportunity to give my experience here. And basically, I'm from Pune. I have been completed my graduation from Pune University in Science, and my previous organization is districts and industries actually, and in this I'm working as a compliance officer for products. Basically, I'm handling legal compliance documents related to the regulations and directive of European Union for the products level. Yes.
Okay. So, about your education. So, what was the degree again? Which degree did you complete?
Bachelor of Science
Okay, BSc.
from Pune University.
Yes. So this is a
Yes.
common question amongst a lot of candidates. Like they want to know that do they need to be a BTech graduate or BE graduate to, get into software industry. So I mean, from Swati's portfolio, we can see that BSc graduates also get the job. So
Definitely, actually, Manish. Whichever the degree is not relevant, actually. Your hard work in a specific module is actually important in this.
and the knowledge about the module. So that's what
Yes,
the
yes,
interviewers are also looking for. All right, Swati.
yes.
So okay, so we will be talking about your, the previous work experience, then the journey that you took while learning SAP, how much time it took, and your advice to the students. So, okay, let's move forward. Okay, Swati. So now we'll talk a little bit about your previous job, like how was the working experience there? How many years you spent in the previous job? What was the growth like? And why did you decide to move to SAP EHS? So, over to you. You can tell me about, how it has been there.
Yes, Manish. Actually, I earlier said that there is a totally regulatory compliance. My profile is like that, the regulatory compliance.
Mhm.
And on a daily basis, I approach to the customer with for the regulatory contents, and I really enjoyed that. But I have a 13 years experience in that regulatory compliance. But while I highly give my time to this organization, and then I got to know that. afterwards there are no more opportunities for me actually.
Mm.
So that time I decided to think about for the with the same content and with the same with my same domain experience, I have to make any changes with the solutions industries like that.
Mhm.
Yes. So that's why I decided to move on in SAP.
Okay. So that means the industry itself had no more opportunities, right? I mean, I guess that is what you're trying to say.
See, actually, the regulatory and directives are really vast topic, but
Hmm.
with the specific industries, they have some limitations. But when we move to the manufacturing to the service industries, like the solutions, that time we have explore or we need to explore the more than the product industries, substance with the substance industries. So we learn more. Actually, I think
Okay, okay. Right. So
that's
I
why I
think
decided.
that's yes, yes. I guess that is the reason for most of the people to move from core industry to software that salary is
Yes,
not
yes,
rising and opportunity is not there. And then jobs are also like that lot of jobs are not there. And then even in jobs that are existing, the kind of work that is required is more, it's the hard work is more required there. So I would say,
yes.
okay,
Hard
okay.
work is more. Result is less.
Yes, 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 yes. I understand that. Okay. Okay, no problem. So, okay, so let's talk about your SAP HS journey. Okay. Like, so when did you start thinking about SAP HS? Like, what was your experience at that time, and how did you get to know about SAP HS?
I think mid of means December 2021. Have means I decided to think about the SAP EHS and actually learn. Found I think I find that there is any coach or anything, but that time I actually uh, decision of my actually finding this SAP EHS coach is very difficult journey. I mean to say that actually because in previous basically I'm from Pune, so uh, I'm much sure that definitely I get any coach from the or any trainer from the Pune, but nothing is there. They are very professional people. Whatever the other skills they have learned in their institutes, they just tell me that we are. They give the guarantees me for like that. We are here for the SAP EHS, but in the demo class, I got to know that there is uh, nothing is there actually.
Hmm.
So then afterwards, one of my friend, I think he's your actually
We'll
he
go there. We'll go there. But let's try to understand about this. Like, what has been, uh, you know, so you said December 2021 you started thinking about SAP HS, right? So, and when did you get the job actually? When did you get the offer?
yeah, actually December 2021, I think about SAP EHS and I got
Hmm.
job in May 2023. It's
So
near
it's
about
a complete, you can say 1.5 years of hard work and learning, right? It took that much
yes.
time. And yeah, we will get towards like how was your experience while going through the other institutes and but before that, I just wanted to know that this 1.5 years. If you have to start this again, how much time do you think this time you will take if you have to start again from the beginning where you knew nothing about SAP HS? How much time do you think you will take to learn everything one more time with the right mentorship to get the job?
Actually, Manish, I'm really happy. Actually, I'm really happy with to give that answer that because right mentorship is very important in any software solutions coaching. Means Previously, I get one institute in Pune, and I joined because I didn't get any from of online in that in 2022 January. So I got admission in that, and after 2 to 3 months, I got to know that the person who is trained me, he's not so much trained in actually SAP EHS. Means every topic we need to take into Google and then search it and find the solution. So it's very quite hard to me actually. Then
Mhm.
afterward, I got to know that he's not a trainer, and then another thing is that after the while the admissions, uh,
So
they
how did
gave
you,
me the
sorry,
assurances.
sorry, sorry to interrupt here. How did you find this
Yeah,
institute? I mean, through Google search or someone told you about this?
yeah, it's Google search, simply Google search.
That is the problem actually. Most of the people, what they will do is they will go and Google search, and all these local institutes, the only thing they do is SEO. So if you search for, SAP institutes in Delhi, SAP institutes in Mumbai, in Pune, Bangalore, so you will find some, top 7 or 8 institutes. And the problem with these institutes is that they do not have trainers. So
Yes, yes, but my frankly, my opinion is that they should just tell me that they are perfect in a specific course or not, because we have to pay them, na? So
yes, yes.
why
Actually,
why it is?
see what they are doing is they are, 5 or 6 people. They will just open an office and they will open a website. They do not have any trainers. So what they will try to do is that they will try to get some students for any module. So for example, for SAP if they get like 5 to 6 students, then they will go out and search for the trainer. So, and suppose the student is paying like 30,000, their usual course fee is 35,000, 30,000 or 40,000, something like this. And if the student is paying 30,000, they will give the trainer like 10,000 per student. That is also, I'm telling you, maximum. Mostly they will give 7 or 8 per student.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, yes, Manish. I paid 40,000 for this course because I
yeah,
don't know the background and all things. So
right.
it's all
Out of
totally
40,000,
risky.
these people try to keep like 90% or 80% of the fees and give only 10 to 20% to the trainer. So that's why
Yes,
no good
yes.
consultant will ever train in these institutes. So they always get those people who are not good in their professional job, people who are not getting good salaries. They will try to supplement their salaries from these places. And that's why this happens, like, no good content is delivered. So yeah, please continue.
One- Yes, yes. One thing I need to add in this, actually this, after the while I searching on a LinkedIn regarding the SAP jobs, na, that time more consultancies are approaches me to for the trainer as a trainer on a weekly basis. Actually, definitely I denied it, but that time I got to know that that type of trainer, I think I got that time.
And how were the classes? Like how many weeks the classes were conducted? And you said you paid 40,000 rupees for that training, right? From that local institute.
Yes, yes. Uh, Actually, it is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at
Hmm.
9:30 to 10:30 p.m.
Hmm. Hmm.
But almost 2 days gap, and then again Monday. So there is, I don't think so. It's quite means it's not beneficial actually for me.
And how many classes they took total in that 40,000?
T6 या 37, I think.
36 or 37 classes they have taken, right? Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right. All right. So, okay. I mean, that's not too much, but okay. And I think for people who know about SAP HS, I mean, those who don't know, they can go to my introduction video about SAP HS and know which are the modules under SAP HS. So, what are the topics they went through? I mean, what are the topics they explained?
Just they gone through product safety,
Hmm.
uh, just incident management and risk management. They are not thoroughly about gone through with hazards management and waste
Hmm.
management. only the
Mm.
product safety, dangerous goods, and
Mhm.
incident management.
Okay.
And that time they said that these hazard managements and waste managements are not such an important topic in
Mm.
industry for the solution industry. So I thought it's a real. So
No, that's true. That's true. Hazard and waste are not that important. What's important is you should know incident risk, chemical, environment, then product safety, dangerous goods, SVT. So
yeah,
these are the most important topics.
they
But
are
I
not
think
covered
they,
actually.
yeah, okay. So they covered less than 50% of what the actual course of SAP EHS is.
And this you just told about that SVT and all the topic they are not covered. Only the
Okay.
product safety means the specification management and the report management and the
Hmm.
incident management.
Hmm. And what about the configuration? Like, did they go into the configuration part?
Yes, but only for the main means topic that phrase management, like
Hmm.
specification management and all.
Hmm. So I think they did not discuss about like how to create a property tree. Then
No.
specific. Okay. So these are all the main topics like what is asked in the interview actually.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, WWI
So that
reports.
time yes, that time we got to know that we are not taking the training as a configuration for configuration. We are taking
Hmm.
a training as a end user.
Yeah, so end user training, I mean, no, why, which is of no use actually,
Yes, yes,
because you were
yes,
already somewhere near that. So,
yes.
And how was the trainer? Like, how was he? What was his experience like? Did you find him really good in what he was teaching?
Pardon?
So, was the trainer expert in SAP HS or how was his experience into SAP HS?
No, actually, afterwards I got to know that this guy is trained in SAP MM
Okay.
and then he moved on in a PHS.
Okay, so he was not an SAP HS consultant.
Yeah, yeah. It's a not a core SAP HS person.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, so these are just, common things that happens with all the local institutes and uh, I think a lot of other people would have faced the same thing. I keep meeting people who, who have actually gone through this problem. So, yes.
Okay, Swati. So we have discussed this, that what were the problems with the previous institute, and you know, what was the basically the expertise of the trainer, the high fees you paid, and then the low output you got from that training, including the, you can say, the quality of the training also. And then what was the experience? What happened after that? So did you try to get jobs and what was the feedback from the recruiters? And then how did you reach out to us? So, we'll discuss about all of this. So let's start with the part where you started applying for the jobs.
Yes, definitely. Actually, after the training has been finished, and then I started to find a job on LinkedIn. And uh, according to that, there is a one or two calls I have received. Minimum only one and two calls are there, and I have received that. But the guys who are the interviewer, he directly asked me, "You really work on EHS or not?" That time I stopped because whatever the interview skills and whatever the interview questions, we need to have the answers for that. I don't have, because after the class, this trainer is not entertaining us. So uh, I'm zero in that. So I'm not able to answer any questions of that apart from the training talk about yourself. Only the questions I try to answer them. And regarding all the SAP HS answer, only the basic questions, just one or two, but the the interview skills are very zero for me that time. So I'm fed up now that time, and I again find what to do now. But when I discuss these things to my friend, and he is also searching for the SAP EHS trainer, and that time he have my experience. So he's
So you
also
both,
searching for that, and that time he
so you both
yeah
actually did the training from the same institute?
no actually he willing to take this, but after my experience, he
Okay,
thought that to search for others.
okay. All right. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, and so afterwards, he's also searching, and that time he got to know that the Manish Mishra is there, and he gave me one number that time, and he told me that name is the Manish Mishra, and he's a trainer. But that time also I'm confused what to do. I called you or not, because I already this institute already made me full. So I'm quite confused, but I have no options other. So uh, that time I called you actually, and I think we talk near about 1 hour. I think that I know, and I know that day, day before yesterday or day before that day, actually in the evening, my interview is there. And before that, I called you regarding that. And you told me without any hesitation you told me some tips for this. And it's quite surprising for me actually, because I have selected for the second round. So that type of faith I got that day, and I have decided to took admissions for your SAPHS training.
Okay, so I think I gave you only basic tips like, what you have to explain
Yeah,
about your project and about what you have learned before. So basically, the first round is usually about that only. Uh, the the interviewers, they try to understand if what has been your background into SAP EHS. And the mistake that most of the people do is that they keep explaining about their core experience, and
yes,
that they are not interested in knowing that, because even if you may be a really good expert in something in core industry, but it's of no use to them. What they want to know is that
yes, exactly.
the position they want to hire for, do you know something about that or not? So if you explain, if someone asks you, like, if someone says, if someone asks a question that, please explain me something about yourself, or please tell me something about yourself, and you start telling and you keep talking about your college and your, core experience for 2 minutes, and then in the last 10-20 seconds you say, okay, I have done SAPHS training, and I these are the 3 modules I know. That's not enough for them. Okay, so that's a mistake that most of the
Exactly.
people do, and I think that's what I told you, that focus more on SAPHS. That's it, I guess. Yes, Swati. So, all right. Uh, okay. Now let's talk about, like, what was the journey towards joining, and how were the classes, and what were the topics you studied with us?
Yes, in actually in this journey, it's now easy for me. Like I got to know that what is the actual SPRO functions in specification management, phrase management, how to prepare the property tree, and how to relate it with your projects. Means what type of property tree we need to create, and it is connected to your projects. And so the connections with the actual works, means maybe it's a virtual works, because we don't have the experience in actual projects, but the connection with the projects and the trainings. I think, Manish, you and your team is the bridge within them. So it's quite easy for me. The global management is the this topic I rejected with one company, but it is quite easy for me now. And also the incident management is there, Fiori app is there. So all type of topics you have already covered. with waste management and hazardous management, we got to know it's not really important, but you gave me the all knowledge about that. So it's really good for me the what is actual and in that. So and it is very useful for me to give the uh, other interviews.
And so, yeah, I mean, we usually do that. We start with the basics about any module, and then we go into configuration, then tables and all the information, which is actually how anyone should be trained about SAP modules. What these local institutes do is that they just, because the people who are coming for training, usually they do not know anything about SAP, right? So whatever the trainer is going to tell them, they will think that, okay, this is all I need. Maybe this is all the information that is there in SAP EHS. And once they go for the interviews, they realize that, okay, I do not know much about this to get a job. So that's the
Yes, yes.
problem actually here. And one more thing is that I think all the local institutes in India right now, they are teaching on SAP ECC, right? And
Exactly.
So Swati, you said about this SAP ECC, and we talked about that the local institutes are mostly training in SAP ECC, and the reason why we train in SAP S/4HANA is that that is more relevant right now, and like 99% of the jobs into SAP HS is in SAP HANA only. So what has been your experience? What is your views on this?
Yes. First of all, I want to say that whichever the training institute, they told any of our friends tell them that there is a no big difference with the SAP ECC and the SAP S4 HANA. So don't believe in that, because there is a little bit differences there. So we have to prepare on that. So the S4, and it is upcoming solution in the service solutions. So we have to learn this only the S4 HANA, not ECC, because my the current where I have joined currently, this industry is only working in S4 HANA. So it is very useful for me. So I'm much habitual with the S4 HANA, and it's quite easy for me actually.
See, in terms of SAP EHS, see, we have two different sections here, right? EHS, which is product safety, dangerous goods, SVT, GLM, and then EHSM, that is incident management, risk assessment, chemical management, environment management. So, in terms of EHSM, it is completely different on S/4HANA. So, you have Fury
Yes.
applications, which were not there in SAP ECC. So, all the T codes are
Yes.
closed in SAP ECC. So, even if you do training in SAP ECC, it's of no use. Like there are no projects
And
running on those modules right now. Even the interviewers are not looking for SAP ECC. So yeah.
And before join your training, when any company asked me about the S4 HANA and about the Fury app, I'm totally zero about that. And so maybe my whatever the whatever the persons they want to train in SAP EHS now, they must be trained in S4 HANA only, because it's upcoming, and the only organizations are asking for that. The training or interview questions are revolving around only the S4 HANA, not in ACC.
That's a really good point actually. And also see the S4 HANA thing, what happens with SAP is that for after a lot of years, they have done this major change. So usually
Yes,
what they
yes.
do is they have a platform and they will keep bringing on new modules or they will keep changing the existing modules. But this time they've changed the platform itself. Okay, so it
Okay.
has been around 5 or 6 years almost, but it's now taking pace, and almost all the companies which were using ECC earlier are now moving to S/4HANA. So even if you are getting a project into ECC, it is mostly a migration project where the new
Yes.
S/4HANA system is implemented. So your knowledge about ECC is very limited, and it's of limited use only. So and how has been S/4HANA been helping you in your current job? So the training that we provided, was it useful for you when you went to the job?
Yes, yes, definitely. Actually, in my this current organization, in the last week, I got project regarding all the chemicals, and totally the chemical management. It's very useful for me as for Anna to work on for these projects. So definitely, I prefer the S for Anna.
Okay. Also, Swati, I just wanted to talk about the other aspect of this, you know, of this journey also. Currently we are talking about the training, that you took the training and then you got the job, but it was not that easy, right? You had to practice for many months, and you have to give so many interviews. So, even though we helped you in getting interviews, but clearing interview completely depends on the candidate and his
Yes,
or her
yes,
preparation, right? So can you take us through
yes.
that journey, like how helpful were we in getting your resume prepared, and the interview preparations that we helped you with, and then how useful that was while going through the job interviews? How many interviews did you give? And ultimately, we will talk about the package later, but currently we're just talking about the experience and the journey.
Yes, the journey is very funny about me actually. After the training, the message for all the candidates who want to learn in SAPH is that the training is not really training is not sufficient for me, sufficient for all actually, because when I have completed training from you, afterwards we had a session with you actually for the interview skills, right? And then afterward, I again start for the uh, applying for the jobs. But at afterwards, I have more than 15 rejections from company,
Hmm.
and I'm little bit that time I'm little bit disappointed that why then again I got these rejections. But whenever at the time, frequently I talk with you like that, what is my negative point and what are the positive points in that. So whichever the tips, please guys, please focus on the trainer's tips actually. We don't ignore that tips. Whatever the previous interviews questions and what are the future interviews questions, please discuss with your trainers. So it is quite easy for us to relate that interview with our projects. And when we all know that some persons really don't have the experience in SAP EHS in a previous organizations, but with the skills in interview, we have to crack it. So hard work is important. The T codes, these tables, you have to learn. It is must for us actually. And the trainer, it's their work is to learn, taught us actually whatever they know. But it is our responsibility to learn whatever they teach or whatever they taught us. So actually, this is, and after the more than 15 rejections, I got the jobs. But after the 15 rejections, I'm quite expert in an interview. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
yes,
So
yes.
that is the reality, so see, a lot of people who do training, the problem is that after training they do not do practice. So
Yeah, and
until unless
one
you
more
do
thing.
practice, yes, yes, go on.
Yeah, and one more thing I want to add that people thought that, means I'm also the one of the part of that people
Hmm.
that time in 2022. People thought that whatever I learned from the trainer, immediate after 1 month or 2 months, there should be a job for me. Or
Hmm.
so this is not
Right.
like that. The
Hmm.
journey is very big from the training to the interview and then the job offer. So the hard work is must for that. Practice means uh, we need to habitual with that systems actually. Within a tips or within the with the fingertips, we have to know that what are the T codes, what are the tables are there. So it's quite easy for us to crack this.
Right, right, right. Because See, that's what I was saying, right? Usually do not practice after the training, and they think that whatever they can remember from the training is enough for the interview. But the interviewer who is coming to get take your interview, he already has lots of years of experience. So
Yes,
within a second he is able to tell that you do not know much about the module. So you have to
exactly.
at least practice up to that level that if a question is asked to you, you should be able to answer immediately. And if you're not able to answer, you should at least be able to tell something around that question. So,
Yes,
and one really important point here for everyone, that the basic questions you should never not answer those. Basically, you have to answer all the basic questions, and especially the ones which we are training in class, you should never miss those questions because these are the ones
yes,
that are
exactly.
frequently asked. If you miss any of those basic questions, it is a very big sign that you do not know much about that module. So,
Exactly.
so you may be an expert in one section, but you do not know the other three sections. That is not good. You have to be equally good in all of this. And Swati, so how much time do you think a person requires? How many months of practice do you think a person requires after doing the training to get a job?
Uh, I think 6 to 7 months is required on a daily basis, for the practicing
Hmm.
this.
To remember every part
And
of the SAP EHS
yes,
module,
yes,
right?
yes,
That's true.
yes,
That's true, and that's again important thing that people lose hope in within 2-3 months that they will get a job or something, and they start doing something else, and after 6-7 months they see that their other people who did the training are getting jobs, and then they regret about losing so much time, and by that time
yes.
they have already forgotten about what they did in the training. So that's one thing. Okay, Swati, so what has been the support from us after the training was completed? Did you get enough support in your interviews after this? Like what we usually do is that whenever a candidate is going for interview and comes back from the interview, we try to speak to them and try to understand what they have answered. And based on their answer, we give the tips that okay, for this question you have to answer something else, and for some other question that your answer is good, but it can be better. So what can be done to make it better, or which area they need more practice? So this is a continuous process, right? You have to give so many interviews and then you crack a good interview.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
Manish. Actually, mm, I can say they hear that. The many of my friends are also told me that, or this is actually my experience is that wherever in the previous means before in your training, uh, I have experienced that I only applied the jobs, but there is no response from them. So I don't understand what is the loophole here. But when I got your number and I got your training, that time I you prepared me you give me a CV, a proper CV according to the SAP EHS projects and our domain with the related to our domain experience, and it is actually the most important things I think to because see Manish, our resume is the first our representation to the organization. They know that what skills we have or not, but our CV is the first representation for us. So I think the resume is very important for this, and you helped me a lot. Actually, I'm very thankful about that for the resume preparations, and whichever I put this CV in a LinkedIn, and from that time I got many calls from the organization. So first of all, the resume. Then afterwards, you took a session actually. You and your team took the sessions like how to crack the interviews, what are the possible questions, and one your good thing is actually I want to say that wherever you learn anything means whatever the product safety is there, yeah, dangerous goods is there. That time only you told us that this is the probable questions for the interview that the organizations maybe ask these questions. So that time we note that. So it is also important. Project preparation according to our domain experience. You already prepared us for that. And one more thing is that um, how to crack the tricky questions. It's also important. I think I taught from you actually. So it is really helpful for me actually for cracking the interviews.
So also, like for all the classes that we conduct, we provide the recorded sessions also, so people, if they get time later, they can go through the classes, and everyone has, a long time access to the application, to our mobile application, to the website, and they can go through all the sessions there. Anyhow, Swati, this was
Yes.
a good insight into how the interview preparation was. And this point about resume preparation, right? This is one of the most important things, because until unless you prepare your resume according to the job you are going to get, you will never get the calls. So even if you get the call, the once the interviewer sees the resume, and if he sees that okay, no, there is not much information about SAP HS in the resume or in the CV, he will simply reject that. He will not have much interest in talking to you. So
Yes.
that is
Yes.
a really important point, is that the CV should be made in such a way that the candidate will get calls because of the CV. So, there are multiple
Yes.
steps to taking a candidate from, learning SAP HS, then preparing the CV, then preparing for interview, and then giving multiple interviews, getting the feedback, improving on it. And after doing all of this, a person gets the job. So one more really point here, Swati, is that, you already had 13 years of experience when you started training with us. Okay. So this is one point that I tell everyone, that if you really want to change your industry, change it as soon as possible. Because
Yes. Exactly.
if you have less experience, like experience under 5 years of under 5 years of working experience, then it is much easier for you to crack the interview, because the questions are not that difficult.
Yes.
So when you have a lot of experience, they expect that kind of knowledge from you, that you should be able to manage the whole project by yourself, and you should be able to help others also, and the users also. So that is one really good point. And what are your views about this? I mean, about the experience. I mean, should less people with less experience, is it easier for them to get the job?
Yes, definitely, Manish. People with they have the less experience is actually the easy process to get the job. So as much as possible, if anyone want to uh, move in a industry, that software industry, so it is the right time if you have a less experience. Because my 13 years experience is very uh, it is a big hurdle for me to get the job, because their expectations are more from me actually, because for projects managements, end to end, how many end to end applications you have completed, so all that expectations they have. So the less expectation is, I think, good.
Yes, yes, yes. And this thing about the project management part, right? They want the consultant, the senior consultant, to do the project management also. So they want you to work as a team lead or a associate manager or a manager, and also ensure that the project is delivered on time, other than whatever you are doing. So your job
Yes,
now
yes,
changes
exactly.
from, like, you are not just a resource in the company, you are also responsible for managing the project also, which is not the case
Yes,
with people with less experience. They only have to work on the task that is assigned to them. So even after going
exactly.
into the job, they get at least 1 or 2 years to learn, right? Which the people with more experience will
Yes,
not get.
definitely
They
right,
will have to directly
Rakesh.
get into company and start working. So that's one thing. And this is something that I usually, sometimes people call me with 18 years of experience, and they tell that, okay, now I want to change. I simply tell them it's going to be very difficult. So I don't lie to them. I
Yes,
simply tell them it's going to be very difficult. Like, if you're ready for the struggle for 1 or 1.5 years, then we can start. Right?
exactly.
Otherwise you will waste like 2 3 months learning this, and then you will lose interest. So yeah. Also, Swati, one more thing. Like, since you already had so much experience, and you also have a family, right? So how difficult was it
Yes.
to manage the learning along with your family, with your kids? And obviously they will be going to school, and their school activities are also going on. So, because a lot of people who are training with us, they are married, they have kids. and you can say it's additional responsibility to learn along with doing your job and then managing your family, and then you have to learn also. So how was it? I mean, how was that part?
Same Manish. Actually, what happened when the first thing I want to say here that if you decided to move from your comfort zone, so uh, you have to tackle anything.
Right,
Means and you
exactly.
have to adjust with your uh, with any hurdles like the growing kids are there, their schooling is there, but you have to manage all things. You have to prepare means you have to prepare for this. So means the first thing is that you think with your mind, not with your emotions actually that time, and managing the family, your career, and your extra learning. It is
Uh,
not with your emotion, it is with your mind actually.
right, and it's especially more difficult for women actually than the men, because the more
Yes,
responsibility of
yes.
family is mostly on women everywhere in Indian households. So, right, I mean that's why it's more even more you can say the support we provide is even more concentrated towards working women, because we feel they need more support, they need more help. So if I have to give priority between few people, I always think that, you know, if there is a person who, even if the person has more experience, but if they're willing to learn, then I do not, consider their previous experience a hurdle into that. So that's right,
Yes,
Swati. I mean, if you were able to manage this, I guess, other people can also manage if they want to learn,
yes, yes,
right?
definitely.
So, right. And yeah, and this is a very big inspiration for other people, especially men, and with lesser years of experience than 13 years at least, that you can also crack this if you really work hard. And Swati, so we are now moving towards the part where you cracked the interview. Now, what has been the salary difference with your previous job and the current job? So, in terms of percentage, like,
Uh, I can say that it's almost double actually.
hmm,
Uh, yes, because I don't think so. I get it, but I got. And actually, my Manish, my interview timing is 1.5 hour that
okay.
day, and uh, I thought that whatever I learn in a 1.5 hour, 1.5 year, I throw in a 1.5 hour actually. The journey is starting with 1.5 year and the journey is stopped with 1.5 hour. So I think interview is not quite easy. It's hard. It with my domain experience. How do you relate with your domain experience with your SAP experience, SAP EHS, and totally, it's a totally German company, and they all are German people. They took my interview, so I feel that, and afterwards they decided to get me the package almost double.
Hmm. So it's double of whatever you were getting in your previous core job, right? So
Yes,
that's
yes,
that's again a big benefit of working into software. Like the salary packages are completely different from what you get in core. And I am pretty sure, Swati, that the package you got now, if you were in your previous job, you would have taken at least 5 more years to reach there. So,
yes, exactly,
so that is the
exactly, Manish.
another big problem I feel is with the core industry is that even though the companies are making money, the employees don't actually get a big cut off out of it. The working
Exactly.
time is similar, like 9 to 10 hours every day. The work pressure is also kind of similar. Sometimes it is more in the core industry, especially the safety industry is much more, the condition is worse there because people have to stay on sites, and, they have to stay away from families and do stuff. Whereas here you at least get an office and there are high probability to get a work from home job also. So yeah. And so what are your views about this, comparison
Yes.
between core and software jobs? So, and the kind of environment, the kind of employees you would have interacted with, like what has been the working environment and culture in this core industry and the software industry.
Uh, as per my experience, actually, in a software industry, very professional people are there. They don't need any. They don't want any means any information or any. They don't want any information from personal level. So only they are focusing upon professional level, and they think about only the growth in the software actually. So new, they are only focused about the new things need to learn here. So I like this. In a core, in a core industry, only the traditional practice is there. Whatever you got any work, we have to finish and go to home. So there is a much difference between the industries. Core industry is a 5 days working also, no sufficient increments. And the service industries means the software industries is like that. There is a hybrid work. There is on-site projects is also with us. There is also means uh, you work good, you get sufficient.
Yes, and right. I mean, this is a good point that you said that the professionalism and the behavior of people working in software is much more better than people,
Yes.
who are working in the core industries. A big reason behind that is obviously you can say the kind of people we are interacting with. Not everyone is Indian, so we cannot be rude to people, and that becomes a habit then. So all the people in the top tier, you will find that they are extremely polite. There are few bad apples everywhere, so obviously those experience will also be there. But there is a process of how to deal with that. You do not have to, bear with anything. You do not have to deal with any bad experiences. You can report them to the right authorities.
Yes,
But
yes.
that kind of organization should also be there, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, and this particular uh, so now, Swati, now, after doing all of this 1.5 years of hard work, training, and then so many interviews, 16 interviews, right? 16th interview you were able to crack
Yes.
and get the job. And then what would you tell to someone who is just starting to prepare for SAP EHS? So
Yes, definitely.
give an
I
answer which
must say,
which will give them an idea, like what are the important things to do, what are the things they should not do, and basically how much time it should take for a person, minimum time to get a job, what are the different steps to get there.
yes, definitely. The first thing we need to just keep in our mind that the SAP EHS is the upcoming uh, industry solutions. So in further years, there is a valuable. It is a very valuable for us. And then after that, one more thing is there. The hard work is must. Whatever you have a less experience or the huge experience, but the hard work is there, and practice is there, and more uh, more contacts with our trainer. Whatever you have difficulties, please contact with your trainers also. So the first is only and only the hard work.
Okay, and then we have already discussed about practicing by yourself to become kind
Yes.
kind of a expert into whatever you have learned at least, right? And then giving multiple interviews, interacting with the trainer, getting feedback, uh, preparing based on your resume is also a very important point, that you should not talk about things which are not in
Yes.
your
Yes.
resume.
Exactly.
So that's a big mistake that everyone does. Anyhow, so
And
this, yeah,
last one is never lose hope. Actually,
that's a really
people
good
have got,
point. That's a really good point,
yes.
yes. Because a lot of people, as I said, they start learning this module and then they give up. So, and a lot of people actually join the classes but do not study. So, I mean,
Yes. Yes.
that simply means that they have not made up their minds to completely change the industry. But if someone is
Yes.
completely focused, I think it should not take more than 7 to 8 months. You lost a lot of time because you studied at another
Yes.
place also. But I think 7 to 8 months of continuous practice and 2 months of training, then combined with 6 months of practice, it should be, a person should become capable of getting a job after that.
Yes.
Especially if the person has less experience under 5 years, then this much time is more than enough. But obviously, the people
Yes.
if they have more than 10 years of experience, then they would need at least 1 year to go through everything and
Definitely.
grab the project development methodology, all those things.
Yes.
So right, thanks, Swati. Thanks for talking to us. And
Yeah, actually, I should be thanks actually because I got this opportunity to explain my experience with all my upcoming SAP EHS consultant. So it's good for me.
yes, yes, and congratulations for getting a job with almost 100, more than 100% hike, I guess. And
Yes, yes,
that's really good. I mean, even people with who have been working into SAP EHS for many years don't get such kind of hikes. But the reason was that because the previous salary was low. So they tried to
yes,
bring you to the market level. So,
yes, yes.
right. And the next job, definitely you will get much more better salary. So
Yeah.
the journey has just started. I would be really happy to see you at a 35 lakh or 40 lakh package soon in a few years. And that is really possible in
Thank
the
you.
current market environment. And yeah, so thanks, Swati. Thanks for talking to us, and best of luck for your upcoming project. Uh, do reach out to us and stay in touch. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Manish.
Thanks, Swati. Take care.